Hey YouTube! Today I'm reviewing a Galaxy Nexus, which I got to replace my old phone, which is right here. And I played with it for a day, so I thought I might share some of my opinions on the phone with you guys. So let's get going. First thing I kind of don't like about this phone is the Wi-Fi antenna. It's really kind of weak. In certain areas of my house, the Wi-Fi would just disappear and the app or whatever I was using would say, "Sorry, we lost the Wi-Fi connection, please try again." And I would get really mad at the phone. And that's no good. I have never ever had this problem with any other mobile device I've ever used in my house, including the HTC One S, the first generation iPad, iPod Touches, iPhones that my friends have, or the MacBook Pro that my parents use. None of them have had the Wi-Fi problem this phone has. And it just gets kind of annoying. I would have to move the phone up and down, side to side, walk around, and then I'll get the Wi-Fi signal again. And then I can use whatever application on the phone I was using. So, second thing is camera quality. If you're wondering why I'm using the back camera instead of the front camera so you all can see my faces, it's because the front camera really sucks. So I didn't really want to produce a video that really sucked. That's why I'm using the back camera, which isn't all that great either. It actually looks kind of better in video than it does when you're taking pictures. If you look at some of the pictures on this phone, they're really grainy and they just don't look super awesome. Certainly doesn't really fit the price of this phone, which is $350 if you get it unlocked, I think. Which I did. It also had a $10 shipping, which I couldn't get rid of. But whatever. Another thing is, and this is sort of a smaller thing, but I have a Hotmail account and sometimes the email wouldn't sync and it would only display emails from a week ago or more. And even when I just send an email, I can't really even tell if I sent it because in the sent folder of the email app, it doesn't really show up. There's no sent. And obviously I've sent email before, so why is there no sent? That's kind of a problem for me. And the screen is really, really high resolution. You can see right here. Okay. I can't seem to get the mirror on the screen. I forgot how I did it earlier. Anyways, the screen is really high res, which is great for reading, but sometimes the background in apps and stuff would look kind of pixelated. And they really aren't, but they do. And it's especially apparent if you use the Contacts app, or something like Facebook or YouTube and the background is white. It's more easily apparent. I kind of gotten used to it over the hours, but it's still annoyance sometimes, and I've never noticed it on any other phone or device. But I have kind of noticed it though on the third generation iPad. That's kind of a surprise for me because the iPhone didn't have it. Next thing is battery life. I really think the battery life on this phone should improve. I had the phone arrive I arrived at my house about 3/4 charged, and after 2 hours, it was telling me to plug it in. That wasn't very impressive, and I didn't like the idea of plugging a phone in 3/4 charged after 2 hours. But it did get better. However, it's still not exceptional. And it's certainly not as good as the iPad over here. So, if battery life is really important to you, probably want to check out something else. Then another thing is that there's, I don't know what, but some applications on this phone just keep loading and loading and loading, especially Facebook and YouTube. Sometimes it'll finally load up the content, but other times I have to exit out of the app, tap on the recent applications button, and delete the running app by swiping it off the screen. And I relaunch it again, and then it works. And I thought iOS was kind of laggy, but this is kind of ridiculous. Anyways, I have my list of complaints here. And the last one is that certain applications don't fit well. This sort of applies to all Android devices. Because not most, but a lot of applications were made for iOS, and once they get on Android, they sometimes have blank spaces, or they look really stretched, and just detracts from the Android user experience. And I don't really like it. Sometimes there'll be a game and certain buttons won't be in the right places, and I have to sort of get used to it before I can really play the game. On the flip side, call quality was really good on this phone. That was the one thing I was super impressed about. On the phone, it almost feels like you're actually having a conversation with the person in person, because their voice just sounds so clear and there's no background noise. And it just sounds really good. And a lot of reviewers have criticized the Galaxy Nexus for its build quality. I found it to be perfectly acceptable. I actually kind of like the textured back, but siding doesn't seem really durable to me. However, it still feels like it fits together well. And overall, I found it to be generally acceptable. One tidbit, though, is that there's these 3 dots on the side, about right here. You can't see it in the profile, but if you turn it on its side, there'll be these 3 metal dots. I don't know what they are, but they don't really look nice to me. And I never noticed it on any other phone. But that probably doesn't affect most people's opinions on this phone. And overall, it's a nice phone. Although I probably have wished to gotten something else. But I still like it. So here it is. Bye.